Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. While we're all hidden away in our respective hidey holes, I'm trying to provide you with as much content as possible for your enjoyment, your descent into madness, whichever option you want to choose. And as some of you may be aware, I have been an outspoken, what's the best word? Detractor? Maybe I've watched too much Almighty Tevin. An outspoken detractor of the Batwoman TV show. It is utterly abysmal. Now, the reason why I've been reviewing it from the start, couple of reasons. First reason is the marketing. The marketing behind it was so extremely woke, but the hilarity of it wasn't just extremely woke, it was so pathetic. As in, what they were doing was ridiculously poor. There was a homeless girl on the street, had a nice hairdo, nice highlights, nice clothes, begging for money. There was a crow, the security team, near her and said, after she'd given her $20, don't give them any money, it'll only encourage them. Now, he's not wrong. I know he's a man, but he's not wrong. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with the girl. She didn't seem to be malnourished. She didn't appear to have any, at least visible wounds on her. Well maintained, nice clothes. Why was she there? The logical point that you would get to is probably on the scrounge for some happy money. You know what I mean? Some happy money. So what does Kane do in the advert? Well, she goes back and she gives the girl her Rolex watch. So now, oh no. I should, next review episode, I'm going to do a try not to laugh challenge, okay? So that homeless girl has probably flogged that for next to nothing, got herself a couple of $100 probably, and is now dead of an OD in the back alleyway. Thanks to woke Batwoman. And then there was other terrible adverts. There was a terrible one where everybody was running around getting a Batwoman tattoo because, of course, it's all about validation. Because these people don't understand what it is to be a hero, which is going to be very important for this video. And so when all you want's validation, and she was wanting it because Batwoman actually walked in to the tattoo parlor and her ego was inflated due to all these people having Batwoman tattoos. And then, of course, the tattoo artist who was complaining that he was getting tons of business. But again, he was a guy, so duh. He had a secret Batwoman tattoo because we all love Batwoman, really. So the marketing behind the show was absolutely abysmal beyond compare. It was laughably bad and clearly showed, as we saw from the first couple of episodes, that they don't understand what a hero is. They have no idea. And that's, again, easy to explain, and that's because they didn't get any further past Batwoman's gay. That's her character. Full stop, end of, no further. They don't have any true motivation for her to be a hero. In actual fact, her motivation for donning the costume is resolved in the very first episode, in the pilot episode. It was to save her former girlfriend, Sophie, which she did. And Sophie was fine. And so there was no real motivation for her to carry on other than Batman is gone. But she was completely disinterested in the process. But the second reason, before I go completely through the video, is because I'm a massive fan of the Bat family. If you've seen my Twitter, over the course of the last couple of days, I've now totally, probably editing the phone footage, I've totally cleared out this part of my room now. That's why you don't see all the horrible things stacked up here. And all there is, I should bring the microphone with me, all there is going across here is my comic boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each of them holding approximately 300 comics a box. So I'm probably, around about 3,000 and something and change comics here. And the vast majority of them are Batman, Detective Comics, Shadow of the Bat, Legends of the Bat, Legends of the Dark Knight even. Various Batman one-shots, mini-series, etc., etc. And then I've got some Superman stuff. I've got Batgirl. I've got Robin. I've got Nightwing. I've got Batwoman. I've got Azrael. I've got the whole job lot. Because I've been collecting the Bat family since 1992. 28 years I've been collecting Batman. So I have a huge affinity for the franchise. I have a huge affinity for the Bat family. And I truly, honestly wish that they would do this character justice. But this is the CW. And the CW, particularly in the last, let's say, 3 to 4 years, have gone so anti-male, so into the misinterest area, and also have just pushed insane far-left political ideology. Because, I say insane, because they are demonising men at every opportunity. They're cucking men at every opportunity. They're trying to elevate women at the expense of men at every opportunity. And unfortunately, because these people don't actually understand what it means to make a good character, the vast majority of their female characters who are in high up positions, shall we say, are just bitches. Because they don't actually understand strength and responsibility, or strength and power. They think strength equals dominance equals cow. So the characters are written exceptionally poorly. And I put a video out describing why Batwoman was actually written as a villain and not a hero. Because in 28 years of reading comics, you get seeing media on TV shows, movies, etc. You get a very good idea of the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is one of flaws. If your hero isn't a flawed character, if your hero doesn't hit rock bottom, then they can never have a hero's journey. Now, when Batwoman was executed, not literally. I mean, they executed the order to put her on TV. I mean, I wish they'd executed Order 66 instead. It was only a half-season order of 13 episodes. So I think it got to around episode 7... and then they announced that the series, or maybe I think it got to like episode 3. And then they announced that they were going to do a full season. And then I think it got to around episode 7. And they announced that it was going to get renewed for a season 2. Now, let me just quickly jump to the ratings of the show. The confirmed ratings are now in for last week. And the show is, once again, registered its second lowest rating of the season, only behind the Grammys episode. So you have literally got about 750,000 people watching this show. It's been relatively consistent of that since Christmas time. So, from when it aired, with a 1.8 million rating, which in itself wasn't good. The lowest debut show of any on the CW for the Arrowverse, by a substantial margin. In 3 odd episodes, it was from 1.8 down to 1.2 million. And that's when they decided to give it a full order. So my theory is they were thinking it was stabilizing at around 1.2. Okay, we can give this a full season. It's stabilizing at around about 1.2-ish after its initial episode because of episodes 2 and 3. I think we'll be okay to issue it with a full season order. Then there was a lot of backlash because the show was dreadful. And then by episode 7, they had issued it with a renewal. But by episode 7, it was on the verge of already dipping below 1 million viewers. In its first season, and its inaugural season. You have to understand how massive that is. No show in the CW has dipped below 1 million in its first season. None. For the Arrowverse. Not even close. You have shows like Supergirl, who's in her 5th season, or maybe even 6th season, and Legends of Tomorrow, which is in its 5th season, which are doing pretty much the same viewership as this in its first season. But they renewed it. And then after Christmas, fell off a cliff. In terms of, they couldn't even get close to 1 million now. 700 and something thousand seems to be the current viewership that it's stabilizing at, as you can see from post-Christmas to current. There hasn't been, apart from the Grammys anomaly, and I'm going to put that as a slight anomaly because the Grammys, it's remained, slightly down, you know what I mean? So there or thereabouts. So in terms of viewership, this show is absolutely failing beyond compare. So, one of the interesting things, though, is we are now in the freshly created shows. The freshly created shows that are the second part, the second order of season 1. Now, you can imagine that some of these episodes would already be prepared, ready, in case they got a full season order. It would be madness not to. You're not going to make 13 episodes and then just wait until you get a full season order and then be like, we got to write the show. Even if you've listened to the show, watched the show, that's how it certainly comes off. But it doesn't mean that you can't tweak shows, and it doesn't mean that you can't amend them. And to me, particularly in the last couple of episodes leading into this one, the last episode and this one, which I still stress are utterly laughably bad, but it looks like to me, the writers understand that this show is shocking, and they understand that the character they've created is horrible, and they understand that she's not a hero. I don't think this has been intentional whatsoever up until now. I'm absolutely convinced by the fact that they're always trying to tell us, they don't show us, they're always trying to tell us how good Batwoman is. They're always trying to tell us how she's out every night saving Gotham. But when it comes to the actual show, we don't see that. We see her being selfish. We see her being irresponsible. We see her being reckless. We see her being disgusting. Like in the first episode back after the Christmas break, where she let a girl go who attempted to murder 450 people, and you can sod right off with her being able to stop the train if Batwoman hadn't. The train was that far from careening into the station, momentum would have taken it straight through, people would have been killed. She put the mayor's credit card details onto the screen for all to see, and she blackmailed millions of Gothamites that if they didn't fill up her GoFundMe or whatever it was with like $5 million, that she would reveal all of their secrets on their phones. Pics, you know what I mean? Etc, etc. So, attempted murder of 450 people, credit card fraud, and the blackmail of millions of people. And Batwoman let her go because she was gay. I said it in the reviews, I'll say it now. If I was a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I would be ashamed of the writers of this show. Ashamed that is how patronizing and demeaning they want to portray. That just because you are X sexuality, you deserve to go free no matter what you do. Because, it's a tough life. Because your ex outed you when you didn't want to be outed. Diddums. No, it doesn't wash. Anyone with a scrap of empathy in their body couldn't buy that for a single second. Anyone with a scrap of empathy in their body and morality in their body would realise that is just disgusting. Disgusting. But they were on the first order of the season. So if the season had been cancelled after the first 13 episodes, they would have been in that side. So with the last 2 episodes, to me, it's kind of felt like they're embracing the fact that their character is shockingly bad. And in the current episode, which has just aired, Kate does it. She actually murders somebody. She murders a bad guy, but that's not the point. Bruce, Batman, doesn't murder. He could take out the Joker, he could take out the Riddler, the Penguin, etc. He doesn't. Some call it a weakness, some call it a positive, but he refuses to kill. He refuses to let anyone feel the way he did. He refuses to let people suffer. The consequence of that, of course, is, when the Joker breaks out of Arkham, etc., he goes on a killing rampage. But the difference is Batman apprehends and they incarcerate. Batwoman has been letting her murderous sister go constantly throughout the season. She has the ability to apprehend. She doesn't. Her sister murders and murders and murders and murders and murders, commits more crimes, and Kate still meets up with her, meets up with her, meets up with her, lets her go, lets her go, lets her go, lets her go, knows where her hideout is, doesn't report her to the police. This is not a hero. A hero is somebody that goes above and beyond that. They go above and beyond family. They go above and beyond everything because they are morally bound to protect. And Kate hasn't done that whatsoever because the writers don't understand what a hero is because Kate was only created to be gay. Which again would be, if I was part of the LGBTQ plus community, I would be exceedingly insulted that I have to be pandered to like that. You can create a queer character and make them strong and moral. And in actual fact, we've seen that with Kate in the comics. So why they couldn't translate that onto the screen is beyond me. So, I know this is getting on a bit, but I've had stuff I wanted to discuss. So, with Kate now actually becoming a murderer and killing somebody, to me, it does. There is a flaw in my argument, which I will get to. It does say to me that maybe the writers understand that they need to course correct this character. So, with her behaviour being villainous, being fake virtuous, she's now tilted over the edge. She's now become what she shouldn't become. She's fallen into the precipice. She's fallen over the precipice into the pit that she spoke to Bruce Wayne about in episode 9. Bruce Wayne from the other Earth, from Earth 99. When he eventually fell, that Batman eventually fell into the pit. After years and years and years of apprehending criminals, he decided, let's just get rid of them. But Kate has fallen into it immediately. And in this episode, she even said multiple times, I'm not a killer. And one thing that the show has never brought up, because it's really badly written, is the fact that Kate killed Batman in episode 9. And the reason why it's so poor is because Bruce says in that episode, once you get a taste, that's it. It's so hard to pull yourself back. But when the writers of the show, when the showrunner, I believe it actually was interviewed, and one of the questions, which was actually a good question, was how is the death of Bruce Wayne going to affect Kate? How is it going to weigh on her? And the showrunner said, "Oh, it's fine. She's not going to have a problem with it. It's fine." Because they're really poor at writing. Because Kate hasn't been written to be a hero. But now that she has gone ahead, and this is in the second bunch of episodes, because I got a feeling that maybe in the original draft, August was actually killed by Alice and not Kate. Maybe Kate gives Alice the benefit, again, that she's been constantly doing, and Alice uses it to kill August. They've rewritten it to drop Kate to the lowest of the lows. So now Kate is everything that she doesn't want to be. She's a criminal. But what is more interesting is if you've seen the trailer for next week's episode, she teams up with her murderous sister to break into Arkham Asylum and free the murderous mouse. So Kate has gone full criminal. Not a smooth criminal. Definitely not a smooth criminal. Which makes me think one of two things. Either they're going to try and play a redemption arc with Kate, which is very difficult to do now, because A, I don't think you've got the caliber of writer to do so, and B, Kate's been a villain all along. If she was to be redeemed, she would have to stand trial for her crimes. That's the only way that she can be redeemed. And if she stands trial for her crimes, she's going to do prison time. And a lot of it. So, I don't think that's going to work out. Or, because they've been playing with the Scarecrow's fear toxin, this could somehow be a fear-induced hallucination upon Batwoman, which I think is going to be the more obvious. And all of this is going to be retconned by Kate being tied up somewhere with fear gas mask on her. So the last few episodes would have been a fear-induced dream, and she saw herself become a murderer, get involved with Alice, da-da-da-da-da. Now, even though that is the obvious, I think it's the way that they should go. And if the writers could get out their own arse, because they are up their own arse, if they could get their head out their arse, and the showrunner can get her head out of her arse, and understand that these viewing figures are so beyond pathetic, the second season is going to be a joke. Because the dip, the organic dip that you're going to get from the end of season 1 to season 2, it's going to be monumental. And that show is going to be on life support from episode 3 onwards. So if they can get their head out of their ass and say, right, we'll do this fear toxin story, we'll show Kate as an absolute criminal and the line that she's been travelling all along, use that to rebuild the character and actually make Kate a hero. I can see what I could become, and I have an opportunity to not go down that pathway. I have an opportunity to embrace the role of a true hero. Apprehend Alice, put Alice in prison, in Arkham, apprehend Mouse, do the same, put some closure on that story, unfortunately get Rachel out the series for a while, and work on something else. Maybe something more substantial leading to the end of the season. But of course, production's been halted. And unfortunately, one of the members of staff, a production assistant, was paralysed. We don't know if it's temporary or full-time at the moment. We know that it is, at the moment, she's lost the ability to feel below her legs. There's a GoFundMe. I'll link the GoFundMe in the description box down below if you want to contribute. We take the piss out the show, but we're human beings and we have empathy. So if you have some spare money, please do help her out. Her hospital bills are incredible. But we would like to hear, obviously, some word from the CW as regards to this. This is the second accident on set in recent times. Ruby Rose being injured herself, which sounds to me that it's a pretty dangerous set to be on by the looks of it. I know the production is cheap, but lives aren't cheap and people aren't cheap. So we've got empathy here, people. Click that GoFundMe and please contribute if you can. If you can. So they have an opportunity to rejig some stuff. But if they want to go down the path that they're going, if this is a legit storyline and Kate's now a murderer, there's no redemption for her. Whatever idea they have to redeem her will be appalling. The only redemption is incarceration for this character. That is it. So it's going to be a joke. It's going to be an absolute joke. But if they go with that fear toxin storyline, if they go with that, if they have this as a 3-part, 4-part hallucinogenic dream by Kate, and she sees exactly what she could become, I think it could work. I think it could work in as much as there may be too much damage done. But I think it could be interesting to at least reset the character and put it onto a hero's pathway. I'll wrap this up by saying this. I did say that there was a major flaw to my plan. And here it is. They're shit. The showrunner and the writers to date have shown they're shit. They've shown that the only thing that they want to show off about this character is its sexuality, which is a tragic shame because they have a great property here and they have done nothing but abuse it. CW, this is your money that you're throwing down a pit. So, there we go. I wanted to discuss. So if you stuck around, thank you very much indeed for watching the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. If you want, give it a thumbs down if you need to. And also subscribe to the channel or unsub. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.